Okay, so where we were. So we have to produce 1800 units in the month of September. Fine, let's write this information down. 1800 units are to be prepared or to be assembled in September. It says each table required 20 minutes of assembly, which means how many minutes are we looking for in the month of September? 1800 multiplied by 20. So we are looking for 36,000 minutes. We need to convert this time into hours, simply divide it with 60 minutes. So that means we require 600 labor hours. So if the direct labor budget requires you to calculate labor hours, that's your answer. 600 labor hours, but this is not the right answer, employees. 600 employees is wrong. So we need 600 labor hours. Let's see what an average employee can give us in a month. Since we have 40 hours a week and there are 4 weeks in a month, that means each worker can give us 160 labor hours. So if each worker is able to give 160 labor hours and we require 600 labor hours, that means 600 upon 160. 600 upon 160 will give us 600 on 160. That's 3.75. Afzal, 3.75. So we need 3.75 employees, which means we need 3 full-time employees, right? And another employee will give us part-time, that is 0.75 of his time. So it's going to be B. B is the right option. All right, B it is. Next, we have question 49. Yes. Now, what if we have to calculate the direct labor dollars, the direct labor cost? Jordan Autos has developed the following production plan for the month of Jan, Feb, March, and April. Okay. Each unit contains 3 pounds of direct material. We are not interested in material. The direct material ending inventory, not interested. We are just interested in the labor cost. So it says company has 2 departments, department 1, department 2. In department 1, 2 hours work is needed and the rate in department 1 is 7.25. This is the labor rate. Remember, Jordan has developed the following direct labor standards for the production of these units. Department 1, 2 hours required at the rate of 7.25 each, and the department 2, 0.5 hours are needed for each unit, and the rate in department 2 is $12 per labor hour. Now, Jordan Auto's total budgeted direct labor dollars, that is the direct labor cost for February. So what we need to write up the direct labor budget, we need the production in February, which we already have, 8,000 units. So these 8,000 units will require 8,000 times 2, 16,000 labor hours of department 1, 8,000 multiplied by 0.5, 4,000 labor hours of department 2. So if the labor hours are required, that's your answer. 16,000 labor hour department 1 and 4,000 labor hour department 2. We need the direct labor dollars. So we must multiply these hours with the rate in these departments, 7.25 for department 1 and $12 for department 2, and simply add the results. So I'm going to do just that, 16,000 multiplied by 7.25 plus 4,000 multiplied by 12, that gives me 164. Correct, absolutely, got it right. So $164,000 is the direct labor budget for February, and it matches perfectly with your option A. Done. Next. This is different. All right, now, media company manufactures televisions. Okay. The following direct labor information relates to the manufacture of television. We have 60 number of workers. Each worker works for 40 hours in a week. Hours required to make 1 unit. 3 hours are needed to complete 1 finished product. Weekly wages per worker, we pay $600 per worker per week. And employees' benefits. Employee benefits include amount other than labor rate. It might involve fringe benefits. It might involve some employees insurance. In US, we also have FICA, Federal Insurance Contribution Act. So there are certain non-wage related benefits that are made a part of the wage. So employees' benefits treated as a direct labor cost is 20% of wage. If this is so, what is the standard direct labor cost per unit? Estimated labor cost per unit. So it's fairly straightforward. If you pay $600 to each worker every week, and each worker works 40 hours per week, that will give you the labor rate per hour. $600 divided by 40, that means the rate you pay is $15 per labor hour, right? You must add 20% of this as the employee benefits. So if you add 20% of 15, it's going to be 3. So that means your total labor cost inclusive of benefits is $18 per labor hour. That is the standard labor hour cost. That's the answer. But look at the requirement. What is the standard labor hour cost per unit? Hours required to make 1 unit. Each unit required 3 labor hours. And each labor hour cost us $18. That means 18 times 3, 54. $54 would be the standard labor cost. Yes, Afzal, you can work around in another way. This is perfectly fine. It works the same, one way or the other. So you can craft a quicker way for yourself. I am perfectly happy with it. So you got your answer, it's A. Next. Next is, I guess, 62. Yes, this is an interesting one. This question is a good one. What are we required to do? The amount that should be budgeted for direct labor for the coming year. Direct labor in dollars. The question is little different than the questions we have done earlier. Beginning inventory of finished goods, 10,000. All these are the budgeted numbers for Peterson Planters. Cost of goods sold, $400,000. Direct material used in production, $100,000. Ending inventory, 25. Beginning and ending work in process is nil. I hope most of you would know total manufacturing cost is equal to direct material used plus closing stock of raw material minus opening stock of raw material. Just for a quick recall, the cost of goods manufactured is equal to total manufacturing cost plus closing stock of work in process minus opening stock of work in process. If you do not know, please write it down. You will need it somewhere in your studies. And finally, the cost of goods sold is equal to cost of goods manufactured plus closing stock of finished goods. I think I've just done it the other way around. I'm not talking about the budget. Just a minute. I need to rectify this. This is not right. This is not right. I've done it using the budgeting approach, totally opposite. They should be in the reverse order. Please rectify if you have recorded them or written them. Total manufacturing cost is direct material used plus direct labor plus manufacturing overhead. Cost of goods manufactured is the total manufacturing cost plus opening stock of work in process minus closing stock of work in process. And the cost of goods sold is cost of goods manufactured plus opening stock of finished goods minus closing stock of finished goods. Please rewrite, take a snapshot. You will need it somewhere. Now you will need this to find out your direct labor. Otherwise, it will be quite hard for you to do it. What have we been given? The beginning inventory of finished goods, we can put it right here. The ending inventory of finished goods, we can plug it in right here. This will help us find the cost of goods manufactured. So cost of goods sold is already given. I'm just writing figure in thousands, omitting these 3 zeros. 400 cost of goods manufactured can be calculated. Opening stock of finished goods is 10. Closing stock of finished goods is 25. So if you make CGM the subject of the equation, it's a bit longer, but you know the interdynamics, how the work is done. 400 less 10 plus 25 gives you 415. So your cost of goods manufactured is $415,000. This is a key piece of information. Now, use this. Cost of goods manufactured is 415. In this question, we have no beginning work in process, no ending work in process, so they are nil. So which means 415 is your total manufacturing cost. Done. Now, we also know total manufacturing cost is sum of three things: direct material used, plus direct labor, plus manufacturing overhead. Right? So we have the total manufacturing cost, that is 415,000. Direct material used is 100,000. Now, these two, direct labor and manufacturing overhead, read the information. Overhead is estimated to be 2 times the amount of direct labor dollars. Your manufacturing overheads is 2 times of the direct labor cost. This was an important piece of information, plus direct labor. So direct labor plus 2 times of direct labor gives you 3 times of direct labor. And if you take 100,000 on the other side of the equation, you get 315,000. Now, if you make the direct labor the subject of this equation, what you get is 315 upon 3, and that's going to be $105,000. So this is a very unique question to find the direct labor cost using some formulas that I've just written. So it's D. Please write these down. You might need these somewhere in your CMA studies. 105, D. Okay, now we have a massively informative question right in front of your screen. What is the Scarborough's direct labor budget? This is a complex question, a pretty complex question. A lot of information is given, and let's see how we tackle this information. What have we been given? Scarborough's Corporation manufactures and sells two products, Thing 1 and Thing 2. Scarborough's budget department gathered the following information. Projected sales for these two items is 60,000 for Thing 1, 40 for Thing 2. Please stay focused. This is a pretty long and complex question, but get used to such question if you want to get through the exam. Become used to of difficult things, because CMA is not easy. It requires some good deal of effort. So be prepared to put your maximum effort for that. Okay, so we have the planned civil Thing 1 and Thing 2, 60 and 40, and this is the estimated selling price. Now, we have some projected inventories in units. Thing 1, 20,000 already we have in the opening stock, and 25 is the desired closing stock. Thing 2, 8,000 is the opening stock, and 9,000 is the desired closing stock. To produce 1 unit of Thing 1 and Thing 2, you need the following raw materials. There are 3 types of material we use, A, B, C. A and B are in pounds, and they come at the rate of 8 and 5. This is the rate. I'll explain this later. So item A, Thing 1 requires 4 items A, Thing 2 requires 5 items A. B, Thing 1 requires 2 items B, Thing 2 requires 3 items Bs. This is the material requirement for Thing 1 and Thing 2. 4 A's, 5 A's, 2 B's, 3 B's, no C, 1 C. So these are the components goods. It's a pretty complex question, so please stay focused. These are the raw materials we use in production. Projected data for the year with respect to raw materials are as follows. The anticipated purchase price for ABC is given as 853. Expected inventories for ABC opening is these and closing are these. Fine. What are we required to do further here? Projected direct labor requirements and rates are as follows. 2 hours of labor are needed at the rate of 3 each for Thing 1, and 3 hours of labor are needed at the rate of $4 per labor hour. See, attendance is falling. They have found this question to be a little upsetting. Overhead is applied at the rate of $2 per direct labor hour. So we have the material, we have the labor, we have the overhead. What is the Scarborough's direct labor budget in dollars? You cannot draw up the direct labor budget unless you have the production information. You need to write up the production details, and for that you need to make up a column, Thing 1, Thing 2. Please be focused. Planned sales for Thing 1 is 60,000 units. For Thing 2 it is 40,000 units. Desired closing stock is given. Closing stock for thing 1 is 25. For thing 2, it is 9,000. Opening stock is also given. Opening stock for thing 1 is 20,000. And for thing 2, it is 8,000. So this will give us the planned production or the budgeted production. Budgeted production for thing 1 is going to be 85 less 20, 65,000 units for thing 1, and 49 less 8, 41,000 units of thing 2. This is the production budget. Based upon this production budget, now we will be able to write up our direct labor budget from this information given at the end of the paragraphs here. So it says thing 1 required 2 labor hours, and each labor hour is paid at the rate of 3. In other words, $6 per unit for thing 1. That's the labor cost. And regarding labor thing 2, we require 3 labor hours to be paid at the rate of 4 per hour. So that's 3 times 4, $12 per unit. So now you have to calculate the labor cost, 65,000. Thing 1 to be produced, and each thing 1 requires $6 of labor. So it's going to be $390,000. This is the labor cost for thing 1. And regarding thing 2, 41,000 multiplied by 12, it's 492. So this is the direct labor cost for thing 1 and thing 2, which perfectly matches with your option C. Correct answer. Very good. C is the answer. So now we are done with our labor budget. Let me take you back. So we have done the direct material purchase budget, direct labor budget. Let us just try find out how we can find the ending finished goods inventory budget. Now, the same question which you see right here, the next part to it says, what is the Scarborough's budgeted finished goods inventory for thing 2 in dollars? Budgeted finished goods inventory for thing 1 and thing 2. We will calculate for both. So gentlemen, please remember, let me first erase this information. We don't need it. In order to find the budgeted finished goods inventory value, we need 4 things for each thing 1 and thing 2. We need the direct material for each item. We need the direct labor for each item. We need the variable overhead for each item, and we need the fixed overhead. I'm going to extend this question a little so you know how we calculate the budgeted finished goods inventory. Right? Now look at this, and let me just drag this a bit. I think this one should be fine. All right. Thing 1 requires A, B, and C. Thing 1 requires 4 A's, 2 B's, and none C, and A comes at the rate of 8, B comes at the rate of 5, and C comes at the rate of 3. So if you combine all these, this will give you the direct material used in thing 1. 4 times 8, 32, plus 5 times 2, that is 42. So the direct material used in thing 1 is 42. You can do the same thing for thing 2. Thing 2 requires 5 A's that come at the rate of 8 each. It requires 3 B's that comes at the rate of 5 each. And it requires 1 C that comes at the rate of 3 each. 8, 5, 3. And so just multiply these. 5 times 8 plus 5 times 3 plus 3. It gives you 58. So the direct material for thing 1, thing 2 has now been established. Next thing is direct labor. We have these given directly right here. Direct labor for thing 1, 2 hours at the rate of 3 each, that is $6. For thing 2, 3 hours at the rate of 4 each, 3 fours are $12. Here he has given you variable and fixed overhead combined. That is the manufacturing overhead combined. It says overhead, variable and fixed, is applied at the rate of $2 per direct labor hour. $2 per direct labor hour. Since thing 1 takes 2 labor hours, The rate of overhead application is $2 per labor hour. So 2 times 2, 4. This is how we apply overheads to production. The estimate rate is $2 per labor hour. An item that takes 1 labor hour to manufacture, we will charge $2 of electricity, gas, water, depreciation, property taxes, insurance, salary of the proper plant manager, supervisor, all the costs in the production facility is included in this $2. An item that takes 1 hour, it carries $2 of your indirect factory manufacturing cost, right? So item T1 takes 2 hours, 2 times 2, 4. This $4 is the applied overheads to thing 1. Same goes for thing 2. 3 hours are needed, and each hour of labor is charged at $2 for manufacturing overhead. So 2 times 3, $6. So your full cost of production for thing 1 is 42 plus 6 plus 4. That is $52 per unit. And 58 plus 12 plus 6, $76. This is the full cost of production for thing 2. The question says, what is the budgeted finished goods inventory for thing 2 in dollars? How many things 2 do we have? Let us see the desired closing stock. The desired closing stock for thing 2 is 9,000. Right, that is the estimated closing stock of thing 2. Each unit of thing 2 will have a cost of 76. So multiplying 76 with 9,000 gives you 684,000. This is the budgeted cost of goods sold for thing 2. You can also calculate for thing 1 by just multiplying 52,000 with the 25,000 units of closing stock of thing 1. So thing 1, 25,000 multiplied by 52. So that gives you 1.3 million. So this is how you calculate the budgeted cost of goods sold. Right. D. So where do we stand? So we have learned how to calculate the ending finished goods inventory. Can someone tell me, you smart people, the future CMAs, can someone tell me what is the budgeted cost of goods sold for thing 1 and the budgeted cost of goods sold for thing 2? Anybody? Anybody from the people who want to be CMA? Budgeted cost of goods sold for thing 1, budgeted cost of goods sold for thing 2. People, lovely people, tell me budgeted cost of goods sold for thing 1 and thing 2. Apply the same idea. Afzal says 3.12. What Afzal might have done, Afzal would have multiplied. Wallah lazim. Afzal, you are a CMA in few months. Very good, mashallah. Excellent. So what Afzal has done and what you should be doing, this is the planned sales, $60,000, 60,000 units, and each thing 1 costs 52. So 60,000 units multiplied by the cost of each thing 1 will give you the cost of goods sold. And Afzal is absolutely right. It is 3.12 million or 3,120,000. And same is for cost of for item 2. You'll multiply 40,000 with the 76. It'll give you 3.04. Exactly right. Correct. So you people have got. So this is how we drive our cost of goods sold budget. See, so we have learned everything: production, material purchase, labor, ending finished good inventory, the cost of goods sold, and manufacturing overhead. There is luckily not a single question involving the establishment of manufacturing overhead budget. It will be fairly straightforward because you will be given the numbers and you just have to establish the rates. Now we have one thing remaining: the non-manufacturing budget. When you say non-manufacturing budget, that means your selling and administrative budget. So the dynamics of these budgets will be very different. Let me show you. This will be something like this. Budgeted sales commission. We have to calculate the estimate for sales commission. Clearly, yes, research and development, sales, administration. So the dynamics for these questions will be something like these. Harvard company pays out sales commission to its sales team in the month the company receives cash. No. This is the question that relates to the projected cash collection. So we shouldn't be doing it now. It's a topic to be discussed elsewhere, not here. So I think it was, yes, this one. This is what you can and what you should do. The previous question involved collection of cash, and that's where we'll discuss it. PCC, projected cash collection schedule. Okay. So here we have to estimate what are the sales commission budgeted for June. Clearly a non-manufacturing budget. For the month of June, Wilter Cherry Company expects to sell 12,500 cases of small cherries at the rate of 25 each and 33,000 cases of large cherries at 32 per case. These are the two items we have: small cherries and large cherries. And this is the anticipated sale. Sales personnel receive a commission of 6% on each case of small cherry. This is the commission percentage for sales, and 8% commission on each case of large cherries. To receive a commission on a product, the sales personnel team must meet the individual product revenue quota or target. The sales quota for small cherries is set up as $500,000. This is the target you need to achieve. And for large cherries, the target is $1 million sales. So let's see, do we reach the target in both cases? 125 multiplied by 25 gives you 120, it's 12,500. 12,500 multiplied by 25. So $312,500, it is way off than the target. So it means no commission on this. What about the next item? 33,000 multiplied by 32. Yes, 1.056 million. That makes sense. That is the level beyond the target. So it deserves commission at the rate of 8%. Just take 8% of this number and you will get your sales commission. 84,480. So your sales and administration budget will be something like this, pretty straightforward. The complex area is production and the projected cash collection, which you have already learned. So B is the correct option. Coming back to the main scheme of things. Finally, once you drop all these, the end thing in the operating budget is the pro forma income statement, the budgeted income statement based upon all these budgeted numbers. So how is it drawn up? I think I have a question here. This is it. This is it. Budgeted profit and loss account, or the budgeted income. Our manufacturers of men t-shirts had the following information for the last year. The company's operating profit last year was, or let's say if you're planning for the future, it's going to be your budget. So let us write down the numbers here. First, you need to see what is given. Number of shirts sold and produced 125,000. Selling price is 40 per shirt, which means your sales revenue would be 125,000 multiplied by 40. That is 5 million. So the numbers are in thousands. So I'm just going to write 5,000. Okay. Next is direct material is 10 per shirt. Direct material 10 per shirt. How many shirts are there? 125,000. So it is 1.250. That's the direct material. Done. Then setup cost is $100 per setup, and there are going to be 10,000 setups. So 100 multiplied by 10,000. So it's 1 million for setup cost. Shipping cost is $200 per shipment. There are 4,000 shipments. 4,000 multiplied by 200. So your shipping cost SC is 800,000. And finally, the administrative cost is 8 per shirt. Admin cost is 8 per shirt, and there are 125,000 shirts, so it's 1 million. So net all these off: 5,000 less 1250 less 1,000 less 800 less 1,000. So it gives you 950. Yes, Imran, very good. You got it right. Afzal, you got it right as well. So it's $950,000. So this is the anticipated profit, or if the numbers are actual, this is the operating profit. So So it will be fairly straightforward because you would have calculated all these numbers separately. Production, labor, manufacturing, all these. You just need to add these up all and you get your budgeted income statement, guys. So that's all for today. Tomorrow we will be doing an extremely important topic from exam point of view. That is the projecting the cash collections for the coming months. How much cash do we expect in the coming periods? This is a very important area, and you will get a couple of questions on this topic alone on your exam. So I'll see you guys tomorrow with this important topic. So what we have done so far, please keep practicing, and so that you can grasp the idea fully. Thank you for attending the class. See you guys tomorrow, inshallah, same time.